Well, folks, this is Cool TV.
Receive His Excellency President Joseph Nyuma Boakai. And there you have the interview.
His Excellency Joseph Nyuma.
So, the president's granddaughter.
President Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
This is an amazing moment where you have the president will receive.
Well, folks, this is Cool, and we are here at the airport where His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai returns to the country after attending the Africa Business Summit in South Korea. So folks, that's it. The president has arrived in Liberia after attending the Africa Business Summit.
So there you have accompanying the president. Honorable Director, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you, the president.
Welcome to Liberia, sir.
Thank you, thank God.
It's good that you were one of those senators who accompanied the president.
Yes, I did. But I'm not a official sponsor.
Yes,
Well, let me tell you.
but you represented the House of Senate. You represented the House of Senate who accompanied the president. Sure.
Hey, you should know protocol. I was part of the president delegation of South Korea. I'm not the official spokesperson.
We know that you are not speaking for the president, but you representing the first branch of the Liberian government.
I will brief the Senate and then I will speak to the president.
But how was the trip so far? How was the trip? Was it good or bad?
We'll talk to the president.
What the trip good or bad?
You're not brief protocol today.
Now, we don't know whether the trip was good or was bad.
The president,
Okay.
the chief executive will brief the meeting.
Okay.
I think I respect the protocol.
Yes.
Thanks. He's Ibrahim Daras Delon speaking to the press. You know, he was also on the trip.
But we have to look for the information minister. The information minister was
also
one of those
yes,
candidate members
on the trip.
Ministers who went with the president in South Korea. Honorable Minister Jeremy Pia, welcome back to Liberia.
You look
Good. That was very exhausting.
we were exhausted.
I've been traveling for the last 30 hours. So it's really tough, but it was a very good trip. The Korea Africa Summit, the one that includes heads of state, was the first ever. And it was good that Liberia was a participant. Not just a participant, but we came back very fulfilled. And in a couple of days, we all learned what some of the achievements for the trip.
So Honorable Pia, Liberians want to know exactly why is that one big specific news, like in terms of agreement, in terms of monetary value. Why is that news from South Africa, South Korea?
More than 6 MOUs were signed between the Liberian party and multinational companies in Korea. Over 4 of them had the chance to do bilateral with the president of Korea, because it is at the bilateral you have the opportunity to make specific requests, specific demands, and you can have whatever the results could be. So we were able to have the bilateral with the president of South Korea, and just in summary, rather than going into all the other details, just the commitment that South Korea will support the efficient implementation of the arrest agenda. It's everything, because the agenda arrest will deal with roads, they will deal with infrastructure, tourism, all the pillars that you imagine are part of the arrest agenda. There's a commitment to assist. The next step would be to establish a joint commission. A joint commission is an establishment or a mechanism for follow-up. And one thing that we know was an error in the past that we're not allowed to happen now is that when we go abroad and we have understanding or agreements, we will follow up to the letter. Because one thing to just say we have an agreement, it is another thing to have the fruit of that agreement. This administration, we've already set up a team led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs that will follow up to ensure the joint commission is established. The President of Korea, one thing he said clearly, develop and submit to us your proposal on road development. Because President Boakai made the case that road is a cardinal agenda of his administration. Right away, we're doing that. In fact, the Minister of Public Works or the Ministry of Public Works is far ahead of that. So we submit that so that the massive interest we have in advancing our road network in the country can be achieved. But you know what the arrest agenda is? We have a commitment that South Korea will support the implementation of that agenda.
So, Honourable Minister, I know maybe all my colleagues have questions, but I'm one of those who followed one of the head of African states who do the summit. So, like, for example, in the case of Kenya, Kenyan President recently posted on his Facebook page that he secured about $138 million United States dollars from the summit intended for imparting the youthful population for that country. So, in that
I don't know how he did that, because...
So I wanted you to attach the value to the agreement.
You know what it takes to implement the arrest agenda? That amount you're calling it just baby chicken change. So that's not what we're interested in. First of all, Korea has committed to spending $24 billion on all the African countries. $24 billion. 10 billion of those amounts will go directly to the African countries to different projects. The remainder 14 billion will be spent on Korean companies that are interested in investing in Africa. That's why that 24 billion will be spent. So the mechanism on which they team the 100 and something million you're talking about, I don't know. But I can clearly tell you that when we get the fruit of the bilateral agreement, it's not going to be 124 million, it's going to be millions and millions.
Is there any duration attached to that, the money you just spoke about, in terms of distributing the 24 billion meant for African states?
We will spend that money between now and 2030.
Now and 2030. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So that's
that is the information minister.
Let's talk the but we also we had the presidential press secretary, Madam Kula Fufana, who also traveled with the president. Madam Secretary, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you very much.
With a lot of smile on your face.
Can you summarize exactly the good news for Liberia from the summit?
Well, it's unfortunate I can't summarize good news of 1 week in, but I will try. It's been a really wonderful time in South Korea. Very many good news. The president had an exciting time. The delegation, the people of Korea, they were very excited to meet our president and delegation. Some of the good news include support in many sectors. I'm sure you've heard today that the delegation signed about 7 MOU, that is memorandum of understanding on many areas, including energy, agriculture, financial sector, and many more. And even the president of his visit, there were 3 key business summits held with the president and members of his delegation. He also met several other leaders, his counterparts from different African countries, but more importantly, he had a meeting with the president of South Korea, and it was a very important bilateral talk. They talk a lot about many different things, but more importantly, it was a very fruitful trip, and the president is excited of the visit.
So the MOU you are talking about, when does it take into force?
In fact, according to the MOU, it was signed yesterday. So beginning the signing, so it takes effect immediately after the signing. There are different timelines. There's some that are 2 years, There's some that are longer, there's some that are shorter. But it opens doors for those investors in Korea to come to Liberia and begin talk on the ground and looking at the different sectors with their interest in it.
With all of those MOUs signed, what is the biggest among all?
Well, I mean, all of them are very important on energy, agriculture, food production and whatnot, but most importantly, the meeting that was held between the president of Liberia, our president, and the president of South Korea, a bilateral meeting. That was the biggest moment because in that meeting, they talk about a number of different things, including the roads, situation, infrastructure. Right now, one of the things that the president of South Korea is waiting on our team for is to culminate all of our different key agreements, particularly those sectors that our interest is high in, so we can send it there and that they're able to, send support. But there were many very brilliant meetings that were held.
I'm concerned about health.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Health was a key component of those conversations as well.
So the president had a meeting at the distributive security sector, and the president called for some recommendations to the committee about, security food access, talking about Africa. Africa has more, but they are not getting much. So what do you think is the way forward distributive food security according to the president's?
I think there are a number of ways in which we as Africa, or particularly Liberia, security, that's one of the reasons why one of the MOUs signed specifically on agriculture, and that will invest in agricultural research. So this MOU, once the implementation starts, you'll have our team deep dive into the sector in terms of rice production, for example, or cassava. In fact, the agriculture minister had a very good meeting, He actually had a meeting with a company in South Korea that only do starch. They use the cassava for production of starch. He also met several different partners in the rice area. So with that level of industrialization in the agriculture sector, it will help us to do long-term sustainability of our food sector, because if we just rely on the subsistence farming that's been done regularly, it will be a challenging time.
So looking at the $10 billion that is supposed to come to African countries, what specifically Liberia will benefit from that $10 billion?
Well, as I've said earlier, and I'm sure you listened to the information minister, part of what we are doing, Liberia is playing a key role in the conversation around those key areas: energy, food security, road connectivity, and infrastructure development. And our portion now is to continue to ensure that there's sustained engagement so that we have outcomes of what we're supposed to do.
So why is that different in terms of benefit between South Korea, Soviet, and America?
Well, there are two different countries. South Korea is one country, and the United States is another country. In fact, there are lots of similarities, and there are also some differences. With the United States, they are ongoing, because the United States meeting happened earlier, there are already ongoing conversations. In fact, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and a delegation went to Angola because as part of that meeting in the U.S., there was a team that went to Angola to ensure that they have conversation on the energy sector. Those events are happening, the conversations happening, and lots of back and forth going to a point of reaching to an agreement point for what kind of investment we will do in the energy sector. For South Korea, it had just happened, the delegation had just returned, and those ones have just started to work. So I'm sure both of them are all in the interest of ensuring that Liberia is getting there, and the president is interested in making sure that the livelihood of the Liberian people is
Thank you.
Well, finally, I want to thank all of you all for holding the ground, for keeping us updated, but also for following up and informing the Liberians of what's happening. We look forward to engaging. And I also like to inform you that His Excellency will talk to you guys shortly before he leaves to the programs for Hash. So he will speak to the press. But anyways, thank you all. We look forward to our continued engagement.
Thank you. All right. So you listen to the press secretary briefing the press about their recent trip.
Liberian government signed monetary value, but it's the safety agreements that the government signed with South.
So you listen to the press secretary Kula Fofana there speaking to journalists recently about the inauguration in South Korea with His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai, and she gave reasons why South Korea will be supporting His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai in his RS agenda, from road, energy, infrastructure, and other valuable developments. South Korea is poised to helping in Liberia in this endeavor as it comes to the RS agenda of His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. So, folks, keep watching. This is Cool TV, by the way. We're coming to you live from the Rabat International Airport. There are several questions on the minds of Liberians, especially.
Right here. So, here live from the Rabat International Airport. This is Cool TV. I'm Sylvester Chokley, Information Minister. Javelin Pia is reporting that from the summit building. So was a lot of Africa, right? The African countries. And Chief, you don't have to name, please. Liberia is in there to take something. Though we don't know exactly what will be about that.
So,
Liberia is that $24 billion United dollars for something.
So there are several questions the Liberians would like the president to answer while interviewed by journalists here. That just ended South Korea Africa Business Summit is the first of its kind, and if the president if Liberia stands to benefit, one tangible development, what will be that development that Liberia will benefit from South Korea? But you listen to the press secretary, she said South Korea contributed to almost all of the sectors in the country, from health, energy, agriculture, infrastructure, technology, and several others. So keep watching Cool TV. We are still here. We have the information minister here. We have the press secretary. We have other high government officials like the Civil Service Agency boss, Josiah Joka.
No, we're working.
Josiah Joka is here. He has come to welcome His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai after almost a week of two in South Korea for the Africa Business Summit. So folks, be with us. The president will soon address the press on issues and developments, agreements, memorandum of understanding signed in South Korea in favor of Liberia. There were other countries attending that summit, like Ghana, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and other African countries were also there. But based on the long existing tie between Liberia and South Korea, there were more things in favor of Liberia, by the way. But let's wait for the president who will tell us more about this Africa Business Summit, what Liberia hoped to achieve. So folks, be with us as we await Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
Happening in Liberia. And also the $24 billion that the information minister spoke about to be distributed among African countries. How much each country is expected to receive, or how much does Liberia have in that amount? Or moving forward,
So folks, we are still here at the Rabat International Airport. And we stay with His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai to address the press on key developments and MOU signed between South Korea and the Republic of Liberia. As a matter of fact, His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai was also accompanied by several dignitaries, high-profile government officials, like his Abraham Darros DeLon, Senator of Montserrat County, Ambassador at Large for Tourism, Christopher Hayes Onanuga, Information Minister Jerry McPia, Press Secretary Kula Fofana, and Information, that's Finance Minister, Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo Yanti was also on that trip, as a matter of fact. So there were several others, but a few I'm just calling. But Liberia has benefited a lot from South Korea from just this business trip. So be with us as we await His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai is in the VIP lodge, and as you can see, high security TAS, security apparatus are here at the entry of the gate, the entry of the door, waiting His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai to speak to the press about this big news from South Korea. This big news that Liberians want to hear by this time. So be with us as we await His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. So this is the press secretary, Kula.
So the chief will be coming outside. The chief will be coming outside to speak to you guys right here. No back and forth question. It's just going to be about it. Generally, like how was the trip and we'll talk about that. We already told you plenty there about how the trip, the details and stuff like that. Yeah? Because he has to also go and meet the people with the local cash. So from here, we'll go there and we'll speak to him. Where are they? Get down, but you only kind of get down. So he's just going to give you all the
Okay.
No question.
No question.
I mean, no question.
No question.
So person let's ask.
So be with us. His Excellency will soon address the press on his recent trip to South Korea. Cool TV, Theophilos. I'm here at the airport in this Coulson VIP lodge, presidential VIP lodge, by the way.
That's the foreign minister.
Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo Yanti.
The ambassador at large, Ambassador Charles.
So we still await His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
Mr. Augustine Pon is the senior.
Still await His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. So by the way, he will also meet Muslims who just returned from Hajj. And the CSA boss is also here to welcome His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. That's Josiah Jokai, the Civil Service Agency boss. He's also here at the Rabat International Airport at this time to welcome His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai from South Korea. This is Minister of State, Mamaka Ability, Minister of State with our portfolio.
So there you His Excellency President Joseph Nyuma Boakai making his way out now.
So President Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
His Excellency President Joseph Nyuma Boakai is accompanied by
So His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai addressed the media.
Excellency, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Sylvester Children, I work for the Spoon Network. Welcome back. While you were away, many Liberians were concerned about specific agreement from the 2024 Korea African Summit held in Seoul because the Western other African head of states like Kenyan president who announced a few days ago that he secured 138 million for his country. So please, can you tell us exactly what were those specific agreements made between Liberia and South Korea?
How was it busy, Mr. President?
I don't know about it. 38 million. This was a summit. This is Korea's first
Korea-Africa Summit, which brought the two people from the two continents together. And the idea was to see how we could work to tackle a lot of global issues, investment and confidence building, Africa and Korea with their technical knowledge and so. And there were no, except for general announcement about 14 billion and 10 billion. Announcements were made, so we did not go for us to have specific, except for the investment forum where we met investors, a number of investors who are interested in coming to Africa, to Liberia, to invest in so many areas with technological transfer, but also the issue of scholarship, helping Liberians to go to Korea to learn, and Koreans coming here to do business.
Mr. President, my name is Theophilus from Cool FM. Liberia has this long-standing bilateral ties with South Korea, which date back since the 1950s. At one point in time, Liberia provided logistical support to the Korean military. Was that effort made, sir?
Koreans make reference to that. We're very grateful. And as a matter of fact, talking with the president, he was able to even capture the arrest agenda, and he said he was going to support it. The Koreans are very conscious of what has happened in the past between them and Nigeria.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
So, His Excellency President.
So you listen to His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. You listen to His Excellency. We are now heading to Muslims who just returned from the Hajj, and they are awaiting His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. That was still on. Tell the man come for now.
We're gonna be ahead.
What kind of mess are you slow?
I know.
Let me go in. Let me. Yeah, man. So we are making our way to Muslims who just arrived from So be with us, folks. The president will be speaking to Muslims who just arrived from the Hajj recently. We can make it.
Passa! Ah, passa!
His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
Rescue follow. Rescue follow. Welcome.
He's in conversation with a Minister of State without portfolio.
Takbir! At-takbir! Allahu Akbar! At-takbir! Allahu Akbar! At-takbir! 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 Walillahi alhamdu! Let's open up a little bit. Yeah, please. Yeah, please open it. Yeah, please.
Hold on, Chief. Hold on.
Leave the way, so. Yeah, the people here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
How are you all? Thank you very much for coming to meet with us. Thank God Almighty bringing you back safely.
Amen.
We want to say we thank Amaka Ability
Takbir.
working with us to have been able to secure the resources, give you a chance to go and seek blessings for our country, for unity, for us to be able to build this country for the benefit of our people. This is a special service to the nation, and we appreciate your taking the time to have made a sacrifice to go. And I'm happy to meet with all of you. We want to encourage peace and unity in this country. We want to encourage Liberia for Liberians so that we can prosper, so our nation can be among the committee of nations with respect. Your prayers are going to be heard. The mighty Allah is going to put us together. He's going to bless us. All the sacrifices you made, He will bless them for the prosperity of this nation. Thank you so much for coming and coming all the way to be with us. We will have some other time to meet, but I just want to say that the Almighty Allah bless us all.
Amen, Allah. Thank you. At-takbir.
His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai in conversation with Muslims from who just returned from the recent Hajj. So you can see them. These are Muslims from Liberia who attended the recent Hajj. So folks, this is Cool TV And that's how we like to call this a day. Thanks so kindly, folks, for watching. And His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai now heads for
Saudi Arabia. So we are here doing this.
Hello, Minister. We saw Minister. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Minister, can we take 2 questions?
yes.
Only 2.
This gathering is a gathering of 243 Muslims about to embark on the holy journey of pilgrimage to Mecca. So myself, I'm part of the Hajj mission, so I'm going to be performing Hajj for the first time. So I'm very excited, and we're going to pray for the country for peace and unity. Departure date today in 2 hours.
Okay, thank you so
We're leaving
much.
right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, done.
Thank you so much.
So, folks, thanks so kindly for watching. My name is Daniel Theophilus Cole. I've been here at the Rabat International Airport. Thanks so kindly for watching. And this is Cool TV, Cool 91.9 FM.